the prime plate loaded lat pull down. This machine looks, it looks pretty daunting and pretty scary, but I assure you it is not so. This is actually probably one of the most popular machines that we utilize. We can bias all the lat musculature with just this machine. So this one is plate loaded. As you can see, loading pins, 3 of them. If we want to make this movement heavy in the stretch or at the top, we're going to load this top pin. If we want it heavy in the middle, we'll load this middle or number 1 pin. And if we want it heavy in this contraction or short position, we're going to load this bottom number 2 pin. Okay, so these 2 are just storage units. So when you're ready to load, you'll remove one of these plates and load it onto whichever of these pins that you want to target, basically. So once we have kind of the weight on there, there are a few areas here that we need to focus on as far as adjustments. I'll just start here at the top. Handles, we can bring these handles a notch down so they can rotate over the bar. So you see this one here is going to be on the higher setting. This one here is going to be on the lower setting. This just kind of changes the range of motion that you have depending on these other adjustments, where you want these to be able to maximize the range of motion. Here, I will put this one back. All it does is it rotates directly over and then it sits on top. So now both of these handles are on the high setting. What is really cool about these machines is we have these prime rotate handles, okay? So the great benefit of using these handles in any pulling motion essentially is it fits the ergonomics of the biomechanics of your movement. It makes it much more efficient, correct? So we have this palm pad that goes up against your palm and it limits the amount of like flexion and extension you get with your wrist. So it actually puts you in a more powerful position to pull. Okay, so these handles are super great. They rotate so you have freedom of movement. You're not fixed to some certain bar, which might not be best for you, depending on your structure. So these handles are super amazing, very useful tool for all pulling movements that we do. Next adjustment here, we have the seat that can go up and down. We have this chest pad that can slide in and out, and it can also rotate up and down, okay? So depending on what we're trying to target, we will adjust these accordingly. Lastly, we have our thigh pad here, which we slide our legs up under and press up against, which is also going to add some stability to our movement. So this one, we have this screw that can tighten and loosen. So if we want to adjust this up or down, we want to loosen the screw, and then we can adjust this where we see fit. And then when you're done, you can tighten that up, so then this is nice and secure. So we're going to have a variety of different lat movements that we can do on this. We can essentially hit all 3 divisions of our lats with a pull down variation, or we can hit all 3 divisions with a pull around version. Okay, so a pull around version is going to get our lat in a more stretched position. It's going to use that rib cage as an anatomical pulley where those lats can stretch around and we get a full lengthening. A pull down variation is also great. So I will go through all 3 pretty quickly here. As far as if we want to hit those lower or iliac fibers of the lats that run more vertical, all right, I'm going to slide this all the way back to notch 12, and I'm going to rotate this chest pad upward, okay, so I can lean forward. All right, so I will climb into the machine. If I want those lower fibers or iliac, all right, I'm gonna want my biceps by my ears, all right? So I like to shift my hips back just a little bit. That way I can lean more into the pad and I really crank my thighs into this thigh pad so I'm super secure. From there, for all lats, remember neutral grip, and we just think about elbows to hip. So if I were to perform this movement, first thing first, elbow to hip. Okay, full range of motion. Upper arm gets in alignment with the torso. Nice and control on the way back up. Maintain that torso position. Biceps at ears. Drive back down. Okay. If I were to focus on the next division, the middle or lumbar division of the lats, I would shift this one back just a little bit to a 9 or 10 notch, and I would put this more vertical, okay? So you can pick a couple here. You can have this one where it's a little bit more vertical or slightly just tilted back, either or. The main thing is we want to have our biceps by our eyes. So whatever position that this is that can get you there is where you want to be. All right, so if I climb in, if I want to hit that middle division of our lats, all right, same thing. I come in, put my thigh pad onto my thighs, all right. Now my biceps are by my eyes, okay? So now same intent, same cues as the iliac pull down. I want to think about a neutral grip and driving my elbows to my hip. So from there, I drive down, full range of motion, come back up. So the thing for lats to fully stretch is we want elbow extension, but we also want scapular elevation, okay? So that is really going to fully lengthen those lats. All right, so drive back down, come up, full extension, and allow that scapula to elevate up. So our first movement is actually this, right? You see just how much elevation I get in my scapula. That is going to lengthen the lats even more. So if we get into this machine and we're cutting our range of motion short, essentially like right here, not getting full elbow extension or any elevation, then we're really not getting our lats as lengthened as we need to, especially if we load this on the top peg or making it lengthened overload. So just something to be mindful of as you execute your lat movements. And lastly, we have our upper division of the lats or thoracic lats. All right, so I will bring this all the way back in again, but instead of having this rotated up like we had for those lower lats, I'm going to shift this back down to where I'm basically reclining back. So I'm going to make this more of a row type variation. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, grab these handles, slide up under the thigh pad. I want to scoot all the way in for this, okay? So I'm in as far as I can go. All right, my chest is on this pad and I'm leaning back. So now for those upper or thoracic lats, we want our biceps by our mouth. And in this position, this is where they are. So neutral grip, same intent and cues as the other lat divisions. Drive your elbows to your hip. So drop straight down, full range of motion, upper arm in alignment with the torso. Come back up. Get that full stretch. We're going to get protraction here. And then drive back down. And then back up. So there you have it as far as the pull down variations for all three divisions. And then depending on your goal, you will load the pegs appropriately. So just as I mentioned that we can target all three variations of the lats with basically all pull down movements, we can also do pull around versions, okay, which are going to actually fully stretch the lats around the rib cage. Okay, so think about our arm coming up and across, the lats stretching around the rib cage. Okay, so a couple variations that we utilize on here quite often are the upper or thoracic division of the lats in a pull around version and the middle or lumbar division of the lats in a pull around version. So I will go through both of those quickly. If I'm looking to do the upper division of the lats in a pull around version, remember that it's going to be biceps to mouth, okay? So if I take a seat in here and I bring my arm up and across, bicep to mouth, all right? I want that handle basically to be right here where my hand is, all right? So if I come in, grab this handle, sit back down. So for thoracic lats, I want to sit more sideways with limited rotation of the torso, just enough to get the bicep to my mouth, okay? And then from there, to make this really stable, you're gonna shove your thigh under this thigh pad, and I like to grab just the end of this, okay? So I'm gonna have bicep at mouth, I'm gonna get full elbow extension, and also some elevation of the scapula. So you will feel this huge stretch in your lat, and you'll know that you have this set up right. So from there, I drive my elbow down to my hip. This is the end range. A lot of people like to tend to keep going back, right? So now I have kind of a mismatch between the resistance coming down this way and then my arm traveling that way. We don't want that, okay? So essentially, if we just think about elbow to hip, you're gonna find your end range of motion right there. All right, come back up. The key is getting this full stretch. Don't cut out that range of motion where it's most important. Okay, so if that's our upper or thoracic lats, to hit the next division down, the lumbar or middle lat, we're gonna set up similarly. Come down. I'm gonna face sideways. And now I'm gonna have some torso rotation, okay? And that's gonna allow the bicep to come to my eyes, which remember, that's where we want for that middle or lumbar lat division. All right, same execution and intent as the thoracic lat pull around. We're gonna think about elbow directly to hip, all right? Back up, get this full stretch up top, drive down, okay? So the main thing for these lat pull-arounds is to keep your torso fixed to where you're actually targeting the division you want. What I do not want to do is come in here and then start twisting around, doing this kind of thing, all right? So we just want to keep that fixed and think about the bicep to the landmark around your face as far as to what division of the lat we're trying to focus on.